Hi everyone, welcome to my 25-minute Pilates mat workout. All you'll need today is your mat and yourself and maybe a pillow for your head. We are going to get started in a standing position and start with a nice roll down, walking out into a plank, drawing one knee to same shoulder, switching to the other side, walking our hands back towards our feet, and then slowly rolling up one bone, stacking on top of the other. Big reach up to the ceiling. We tuck the chin. We slowly roll back down. And we walk out into our plank. Knee comes to same elbow. Other side. And walk those hands back to the feet. Slowly articulate the spine up, stacking one bone at a time. Big reach to the ceiling, chest up. And we go again, nodding that chin to throat. Slowly rolling down into our plank, making sure we don't sink through the back, engaging core through this whole movement, and rolling back up, big reach. Awesome job. We have a couple more here. Walking out, knee to elbow, walking back in, breathing through the whole movement. And now as we come down into this last one, we are going to press ourselves into a downward dog stretch, and you can pedal the feet and ankles if you wish, or you can just press the bum up to the sky for a hold. You're coming down into a modified plank, little push up down. From here we tuck our tailbone, pubic bone is heavy on the mat. We hover the head straight up, we look beyond the mat, and we peel the chest off just as far as you feel comfortable. Try to keep the hips as stable on the mat as you can, and you come back down. You inhale to hover the head. You exhale to look beyond the mat as if you're rolling a marble away with your nose, and you inhale to peel up, and exhale to come back down. Inhale, hover. Exhale, roll the marble away. Inhale, peel the chest just as far as you feel comfortable. Exhale, come back down. Continue here at your own pace. Don't forget to use your breath. You can stay energized through your legs and only stay in a range of motion that's comfortable for you. This is our last one. Awesome job. We come right back down. From here, we're going to go into robot arms. So our arms are in a goalie post position, and it's really important that we bring our shoulder blades up onto our ribs so that they're not forward towards the mat. And from here, all we do is lift and hover the forearm. So you're not squeezing your shoulder blades together. You're setting those shoulder blades along the rib cage flat, and you hover the forearm. So lots of shoulder muscles working here to stabilize the shoulder blades or scapulas on your rib cage. As you can see, it's just a very small movement, and you'll begin to feel the burn through the backs of your shoulders. Remember, try not to squeeze your shoulder blades together. From here, we're going to take our hands under our foreheads, same neutral spine here, pubic bone heavy towards the mat, lifting belly button, and you begin to lift through your mid-back. Keep your gaze down if you can. Chest lifts up, legs stay energized, pubic bone stays heavy. Think about bringing your shoulders back and down. Don't let them creep up to your ears. Inhale, prepare, exhale, lift. You got 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. And from here, you're going to press up, peel the chest off, go into a swan. Again, just to where you feel comfortable. And then you're going to come back down onto your stomach. From here, same neutral position, but your arms are coming down by your sides. Palms can face towards your hips. You are going to flex the heels, kick towards the bum twice, reach that chest up, lifting the arms, reaching forward and back down to starting positions. Flex, flex, kick, kick. Reach long, reach forward, hands back down, and you lower. Kick, kick, reach legs and arms back, arms come forward, arms come back down. And you continue here, feeling all the activation through the hamstrings and the back of the thigh, trying to keep the body stable and not allowing your body to rock too much. This is where you draw your abdominals in and up, which can be a little bit more difficult to do when you're on your stomach. You can inhale, prepare, exhale as you kick. Awesome job. And then from here, we are going to go into a child's pose or a shell stretch, sending your hips back toward your heels, widening the knees and hips as much as you feel comfortable, and just breathing. And then from here, we're going to go into side bridge. So I'm going to start on my left side, forearm on the mat, knees bent so that heels and feet are in line with your bum, bringing that right shoulder back, and you press through the knees and the forearm to lift the hips. Add a little reach up over your ears, so you press and you reach. You inhale to prepare, you exhale as you come up. You're drawing abdominals in and up through this whole movement so that there's less weight being placed through that shoulder. Awesome job. We've got about 3 more, and then on our third one we're going to hold. Last 2. Last 1. And we rotate down towards the floor, chest rotates down to the mat. Awesome job. You can do this. Last one. And then lowering back down. Legs go long, laying flat. You can use your arm as a pillow, or if you have a pillow, you can use that too. You want to lift that bottom rib so you're in a nice neutral position. Drawing abdominals in and up before we get started. Top leg is at hip height. You flex forward twice, point back, flex that leg forward twice, and then point back. Now as you point back, it's like you're pressing through thick mud. So I want you to feel the activation in the glute in the back of the leg while maintaining that little peephole in your bottom waist. Trying to stay super stable at your waist so you're only moving through the hip and feeling that strength through that top leg. You're going to start to feel the burn as we try and maintain the leg at hip height and not overextending through our low back too much. And then we're going to bring that leg back to hip height, and we lift and lower. And if you don't feel this too much, you can point those toes down to the floor. And we're just lifting a little bit higher than hip height, trying to keep that little peephole in the bottom of our waist, keeping that lower rib lifted, and breathing as we feel the burn. And now we go into circles, 10 circles forward, 10 circles back. I'll let you count your own, go at your own pace. Again, not allowing that whole torso and pelvis to rotate or tip too much, just moving at the hip, like you're drawing the letter O with your big toe. From here, we lengthen both legs. We have an external rotation at the hips, so our heels are together, toes are apart. We start to run the top leg along the bottom, so we point the toe, it slides all the way up. We straighten that knee, we flex the foot towards the other heel. As we flex that foot, we're pulling down as if we're going through thick mud here, feeling the inner thigh working. Again, trying our best to maintain that neutral spine, so having that little peephole between our waist and the mat, and just breathing and going to the range of motion that's comfortable for you. So we might not all get our leg all the way up, and that's okay. We've got one more here. Awesome job. Now we're going into a 4-point position on hands and knees. So hands under shoulders, knees are under hips. And we're going to go right into a cat-cow. So you're pressing through the floor to round the back, tuck the tailbone. You sink the belly towards the floor. You're reaching the chest up, rounding and arching. You can inhale as you round and exhale as you sink the belly. If you have neck pain, you can keep the neck out of it and just keep this in the rest of the spine, but just go into a range of motion that's comfortable for you. And now we're going into tail wags, so pretending we have a giant dinosaur tail and wagging that tail side to side, looking over to kind of get a little peek at it, getting a nice stretch through the sides of our body. Again, just breathing how you wish here. And now we are going to extend one leg out. You can do this on your hands or on your forearms. On your forearms is more comfortable for me and my wrists, so this is the option that I chose. You're going to lift the leg up and then across the opposite foot. So up and then over, like a little crisscross. Trying to stay even on your shoulders and arms so you're not leaning too far to one side, and not lifting the leg so much that you're getting too much extension through your lumbar spine or your low back. Awesome job. And we switch legs. Lift and cross. Exhale to lift. Inhale as you come back down. This one's a quick burner. There's lots going on here. Lots of core, lots of shoulder stability, and then of course your hip muscles and your glutes. Great job. And from here, we're going to do another child's pose. And just taking a deep breath. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to our other side for side bridge. So I'm on my right side. Forearm right under shoulder, so elbows right under shoulder, knees bent, feet in line with bum. And we lift and reach. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift and reach. Drawing in abdominals. Te beso bien suave en el 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀 quiero con vino limón tu cuerpo es un carnaval, yeah. We've got 4 more. And then on our 4th one, we hold and rotate. Last 2. And last one, we hold here. We start to rotate that chest towards the ground. Good job. Last 2 rotations here. And then after this one, you lay long on your right side, or whatever side you're on here. Arm for pillow, or if you have a little pillow, little peep pull through the bottom waist, lifting that rib, and we start with a flexed foot forward kick twice, press back with a pointed toe. I like to have my hand here for support. You could make this exercise harder by straightening out your bottom leg, and this requires a little bit more balance, a lot more core support and stability, but you choose what feels good for you. Remember, as you bring that leg back, think about going through thick, thick mud. Really feel the activation through the back of the leg. And keeping this in the hip, not letting this go into your low back. We have 3 more, and then we go into our top leg lifts. So after our 3rd one, you're going to bring the leg back in line with your hip and spine and start to lift just a little bit higher than hip height. Trying to keep this in the hip only, keeping that little space between your lower rib and the mat, drawing in abdominals, pointing the toe towards the floor if you're not feeling this in the glutes. And then you're going to get ready to go into your circles forward. You're going to do 10 each direction. Remember, it's like you're drawing the letter O with your big toe. Don't let your pelvis and spine rotate too much. Keep this all in the hip. And after you've done your 10 forward, just go straight into your 10 back. Don't forget to breathe. This is going to burn. Okay. We lengthen through both legs. Heels together, toes apart. We slide the top leg up, straighten the knee, flex the foot, pull down towards the other heel. And when you flex that foot as you're coming down, you want to think about going through thick, thick mud. Think about resistance as you bring the leg down to really feel that activation in the inner thigh. Think lots of core work. Don't forget to breathe. That one's a tough one. Okay, from here we are going on to our back. So you want to set your neutral spine up so heavy and lower ribs tip towards that tailbone, small space in your low back. We begin to bridge. You can do this a couple of ways. You can tuck your tailbone and articulate up if that's better for your low back, or just lift from a neutral spine. As you lift, you want to reach along through your knees. Inhale, prepare, exhale, lift. And we don't want to arch through our low back. It sort of looks like that's what I'm doing here, but I am actively tucking my tailbone here, but I do have an increased lordosis in my low back, so it does look like I'm arching a little bit, but there's no arching happening. So really engaging abdominals as we lift into our bridge, keeping lower ribs heavy. And if you feel any discomfort in your low back, you can always just lift a little bit, not so high. And from here, we're going to bring the arms up, and we're going to lower an inch and lift an inch. Lower and lift. So I'm not touching the ground, just lowering and lifting a little bit, kind of like a pulse. Keep breathing through this one. Awesome job. And we are going to hold and start to lift one heel at a time. You're going to feel this one all the way up each leg. It's going to burn. Keep the abdominals drawn in. You can do it. Last 4. Last 3, 2, 1, and come on down. Great job. Little hip sway side to side, windshield wiper legs. Kind of shake out those hips. Now we bring the bottoms of the feet together, so we're in like a butterfly position. We press down through our feet, lift the hips, so it's a bridge, but in this butterfly position. Again, you're going to feel this one in every place of your leg. Keep abdominals drawn in. We've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we hold here. We bring the knees together, knees come apart. Knees come together, knees come apart. As we're doing this, the bum stays off the ground. We are still lifted in our bridge. Breathe through this. Awesome job. You're doing great. Feel the burn. And come on down. And you can let the knees fall out into a little butterfly position. And just take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, belly rises, exhale through the mouth. A little stretch through the groin, and our feet come back to the mat. We're going to go into our hip fold series. We really want to ensure that our neutral spine is set. So drawing abdominals in and up, small space in your low back, and when you feel set, you're going to fold one leg up into tabletop, so knee is right over hip, and not in towards your chest too much. It's like you're arcing the leg up, and as you do this, each pelvic bone stays stable. So as you can see, I like to place my hands over my hips and pubic bone to make sure everything stays level as I do this. If you're not activating this muscle properly, you'll feel one hip kind of shift down as you switch. And when you're ready, you can actually bring one leg into tabletop, the other to meet it, and then lower down one at a time here. You could do about 5 or so per side, so I start with my left side, and then I switch to my right. And again, only do this if it feels comfortable for you, otherwise you can continue with your regular hip folds that we did prior. Let's get it on, we got it going, stay strong. And then you do have the option to progress this as well, but if it doesn't feel comfortable, don't feel obligated. We do a toe dip. So we're in tabletop, knees are over hips, not into chest, and you dip a toe down and come back up. So one leg stays in tabletop as the opposite dips. You can also opt for a heel dip, which will feel a little bit harder, or just change where the toe is dipping. So farther away is going to feel harder for your core, and there's going to be a tendency for your ribs to want to lift, so really keep those lower ribs pinned. Don't let that back arch. Maintain the neutral throughout the whole time. And don't forget to breathe. Chest is wide. You're feeling the burn. You're doing great. And come on down. We're going into our ab curls next. Hands behind head. Chin is tucked to throat, and you press through the ribs to come to an ab curl. We anchor at the shoulder blades as we go into our ab curl, and we're looking between the knees. You'll really feel the activation in the abdominals when you anchor at those shoulder blades. hold our ab curl and bring both legs into tabletop. So one leg comes to tabletop, deep breath, and bring the other to meet it. And we continue our ab curls with legs at tabletop. So this just increases the demand. Now if this doesn't feel comfortable for your body, you can just continue with your regular ab curls. Only do this if you can hold your neutral spine. You want to think heavy and lower ribs, tip towards tailbone. Exhale up, inhale lower. Awesome job. Hands come beside us and we go into 100. You can do a variety of breaths here. I inhale 3 times, exhale 3 times. Inhaling through my nose, exhaling through my mouth. This felt right for me during this session, but sometimes I will switch up my breathing here. You want to keep that chin tucked to the throat. You want to stay anchored at your shoulder blades and just kind of recorrect yourself if you need to. If you find that you start to sink down, knees stay over hips. And then we bring one knee into the chest and extend the opposite leg into a single leg stretch. Chin stays tucked. You're still anchored at the shoulder blades and you're switching. Quick switches here. Breathe through it. It's going to feel hard, but you're doing great. Core is burning. And only bring those legs down as far as that feels comfortable for you. Awesome job. Lowering the feet down, lengthening the arms and legs as if they're being pulled in opposite directions. Very nice deep stretch through the whole body. And we're going to arc the arms and do a full ab curl up to sitting, and then we reach for the toes. And then we slowly roll back down onto our backs. Stretching long through our arms and legs. And we tuck the chin, ab curl up, reach towards the toes, big stretch, and repeat again. Try and articulate all the way down as if you're lowering one bone by bone to the mat. Another ab curl and reach. And lowering down again. And bringing the knees to a bend, and we're going to do a little cool down, sagittal arm arcs, so sweeping the arms up and back behind the ears, and the arc back down by your sides. Inhale as they come up, exhale as they come down. And then we're going to bring the hands together, staying heavy in the hips and the feet. You're going to roll across your shoulder blades, keeping those elbows straight. You're going to get a nice rotation through the thoracic spine or the mid-back. And just go as far as you feel comfortable, rolling back and forth. It might not get very far, and that's okay. But just keep the hips and feet nice and heavy as you go side to side. Breathing, inhaling one direction, exhaling the other. And then hands come to a T, and you're gonna roll across your pelvis now. So I'm looking opposite to my knees to get a full spinal rotation. So my knees go right, my head goes left. Trying to keep the shoulder blades heavy, but one of the hips can peel off the mat. Feet can be together or a little bit apart, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then we are going to take our left ankle to cross it over the right knee, and then you're going to grab the right thigh and bring it towards your chest. And you're just going to hold for about 25 to 30 seconds, breathing throughout. Feeling a stretch in the bum. And then you can begin to get ready to switch. Same thing, breathing here, feeling a stretch in the other leg. And then we're going to go into a happy baby pose, so grabbing the inner arches of each foot and bringing the knees to a 90-degree angle. I like to rock back and forth. Only do this pose if it feels good for you, because it can feel like an intense stretch, but this is a really nice pelvic floor stretch. You'll feel this one all throughout your glutes and pelvis and inner thighs. And then you can bring your feet back down and you are all done. Thank you so much for joining me for this 25-minute mat work class. I am looking forward to making more videos. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.